Hi guys, this is a collab video I'm doing with my friend and guildmate Cody, and he's here with me, and we've had so many technical problems trying to get this to work, and yeah, hopefully this is fine, and then when we do the next video it'll be better, everything will be ironed out maybe, but anyway, the show we kind of put together like between us is Rebel Informer, and we kind of wanted to go over like some various different topics in the game and just sort of like collab our different thoughts on those things and bounce them off each other, because it's so much more interesting to like to talk to someone about the game than it is to, I don't know, like just talk with yourself to the camera, to you guys who can't talk back if it's not a stream. So yeah, so we've got two topics anyway, and the first one we were going to talk about is the 3v3 Grand Arena, and I don't know, sort of like our first point really is how do you feel about that, Cody? Do you like 3v3?
I have mixed feelings about 3v3. After a lot of 5v5, sometimes I'm pretty excited to have 3v3 come in and be kind of a, kind of a curveball in a sense of just having something new to do in the game. But after a month of it, I'm pretty tired of it. So I wish that they would kind of work on maybe some different ways to implement that to where it's not just a whole month's long of just 3v3. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. I kind of feel that like a whole month is too much. I just get so bored with it. It's not a fun game mode for me. I find that there's so many teams and things where I'm like, well, like this character is now good, but it's now really good in 3v3, or this character is much better, but it was crap before. But it kind of feels like it doesn't add much at the end of the, like when you're at the topper end of the game where you've got all these different characters unlocked. 3v3 just becomes this like annoying detriment.
Yeah, it does. I will say this, it does make me think a lot more. Like I was looking at the times on my Grand Arena streams from like 5v5, I was getting knocked out about 20 minutes. It's like at least 30 minutes for most of my GAC streams now. And a lot of that is me staring at the screen, thinking about how I'm going to go against certain teams, because I don't have set counters like you do, especially like, you get used to the teams as you see in your arena climbs all the time, and you know how specifically to go after those. So when you see those in GAC, you've already got your counters pre-done. And that's just not the case in 3v3. Like a lot of times I'll see them and think, well, maybe the traditional counters don't work as well in 3v3. Think of some teams that are kind of God mode in 3v3 compared to being able to get through them kind of easier in 5v5 if you have the correct teams to do that. So like I know a lot of people are using this, I don't know if you've gone up against it yet, but the Emperor Palpatine, BSF, and Mallet combo, have you went against that one yet? That was a nightmare in 3v3.
In the last GAC I had, it didn't have Bastila Shan, but the guy had Thrawn. And that's
the thing, like some of those characters like Thrawn, and you think of like Rex is extremely strong in 3v3 because he can get to that Rexolate very quick. Like some characters like 3v3 Thrawn, you got somebody who is fracturing out a character, and if you have him as Thrawn lead, you can have that character fractured out for quite a long time if you use it correctly.
Yeah, that was how I won that. I put my Thrawn in with my Darth Revan, and I just fractured their Malak. And that was it. I was just like, that's the only way I can win that fight.
That's a smart move for sure for that one. Because I mean, I think when I went against it, it wasn't this GAC. It was like the one before this one, the last round of 3v3s, not this one that just started up. And I used like my full out Relic Padme team against it, I think, to get through it. And still almost lost to the Malak. It was kind of a pain in the butt. So. But yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about 3v3. I wish that they would start doing like, and I think we've discussed this before, doing like maybe a zone of 3v3 and then 2 zones of 5v5 and then a ship zone or something like that. I'm not the biggest fan on ships either, because I think that there's kind of that, and I'm starting to hit that area in the gameplay where I'm in Division 5. I'm almost up to Division 4 now, where I still don't have Malevolence or Negotiator. So if somebody puts one of those on defense, then more than likely I'm going to lose, because I just don't have anything to counter that whatsoever. And so I'm not a big fan of having those in GAC anyway, because it's not a game mode that I particularly care for, except for getting my crystals every day out of it.
Yeah, although I do feel that ships is like quite a big part of the game. It's not just like they went, oh, you know what, now it's 2v2 ships or something.
No, you make a very solid point there. At least it's a familiar game mode instead of 3v3, which, I've only been playing for like, I don't know, like 8 or 9 months now or something like that. How new, I mean, I know that you're more of a veteran player. How new is 3v3 game mode? Is that something that's fairly really recent?
Yeah, it's fairly new for me. I don't think, I mean, you say you played about 9 months. I think I'm on probably about 18 months, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sounds about right. 18 months, something like that. So it's not like, so I've been playing like twice as long as you. I don't think they had 3v3 before, but then again, you can't play like the Grand Arena or whatever it was before until you were level 85 anyway.
Yeah, so you got that whole leveling experience. I think I bought the hyperdrive bundle, but I was like 81, 82 when it came out. So I had already gone through that 3-month process of leveling.
Last bit though is the end of it. Yeah, it takes ages to get through those last few levels.
Oh yeah, it's a pain in the butt. Yeah, for sure. So I was glad the hyperdrive bundle came out. And I will say I've gotten a lot of extra benefits out of that crystal wise and all that stuff. So while $100 is ridiculous to spend on a mobile game, it's kind of paid itself off within the insane currency that or market that they make in this game as far as pricing wise goes, kind of thing. You get a lot of extra crystals on the back end when you're able to be at the top of your arena shard for so long.
Yeah, definitely. I think when I joined actually, and I first got into arena, I didn't even get into it. I got into like a slightly older arena shard. So I've always had it like quite tough in my regular arena.
You get hosed from the get go. Yeah, like on the back end of an already established one.
Yeah, So I got kind of like, but obviously I didn't know about that then. And when I first started playing the hyperdrive and things like that, didn't really exist. And it was just sort of like, I think Jedi Knight Revan hadn't been out long, and they just started like moving on to like Darth Revan and things.
Yeah, I've always heard that Jedi Knight Revan was like when the game changed kind of thing from like the old SWGOH, like the original kind of deal. Then Jedi Knight Revan kind of came in.
Yeah, when he first
started this insane power creep that's kind of in this game. Like for new players coming in, man, like what are your thoughts on new players coming in? I know this is kind of off subject of 3v3, but
no, definitely. But those new players are going to play 3v3.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, the power creep on this game is so big, and the game's been around for a while now. So understandably, there's a power creep. But, for new players coming in, like who are getting into 3v3 or GAC and all that kind of stuff, thankfully they do. I think GAC is one of the fairest game modes where they do put you with people around your same GP. So you are in a spot where you can be competitive. But if you think for like players coming into new shards and stuff like that, or maybe on the back end of a more established shard, that kind of thing, like it's really, really hard to catch up unless you spend money.
Yeah, definitely. But you also get that problem with it where because it just matches you based on GP. Like if I look at my account, I go like I've got, I don't know, I can just pull this up now. So my galactic power right now is 3.7 million, and I've got 1.7 million in ships. So
yeah, see, I'm the same way too. I've got a bunch of ships.
I have invested quite a lot in ships, but that was mostly, I started doing that because like, even though my arena shard was quite tough, my fleet shard was just like, it was just wet tissue paper for so long. And I just clawed my way up to first place, and I sat in first place for like months. And until the negotiators and things started to turn up, I was uncontested first because nobody else had put any effort in.
That's how I mean, when I first got the hyperdrive bundle thing, like I took that to get me to top 10 ships, and I stayed top 10 ships for a long time. I still get the back end of top 10 ships, but I was, getting first or second pretty much every day for months. Yeah. And then that allowed me to build my relic up JKR team, which got me into the top 5 in regular arena. And now I've got Padme, JKR, and working on a Emperor Palpatine Vader lead since we got that nice Vader rework in. Kind of if you miss out on that and don't get into a good shard chat and organization and all that kind of stuff, you really can fall behind quite quickly in this game. Like, I mean, right now I've got an amazing shard that I'm in. Like I hit the jackpot when it comes to shard mates because like it's very, very organized. We've got 2 people per payout, so you're getting first or second every day for every one of these.
Is that on like nice. Arena and fleet, or is that just on one?
That's just on Arena, which is nicer because it's better crystals. Now, Fleet's not as organized. Like I get top 10, but we've got a lot of people in there who just kind of stack their negotiators and their malevolences up, and nobody who doesn't have one of those can do anything with them right now currently. So, but back to 3v3 though. What are some good teams? I know we kind of went off on a little tangent there, but like what are your like, have you come across any teams that are good for people like defense, offense? Like, what's your favorites right now?
Hold on, let me just bring up my teams list because at least I'll be able to remember because I've got so much stuff. Because I've got quite like a wide account in terms of the number of characters I've got. I mean, there's those classic ones where people are like, yeah, these are the best ones. So like the CLS, Han, Chewie, that team's very powerful. But in terms of sort of like random stuff, I really like Newt Gunray with Count Dooku, and then anybody. I've been running
Count Dooku is another one of those solid characters. Well, so is Newt Gunray, but like Count Dooku with all of those, like he counters everything, and then he's got a stun on his basic. So if you've got counters and then you're stunning yourself every time you're attacking this character in 3v3 is super strong. He's one of those that him and Newt both, I wish I had the ability to invest in them right now, but it's like that's one of the struggles of a new player in this game or newer player in this game. Is like you kind of have to pick your battles on what you want to gear. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's 7-star or not. If it doesn't have gear 12 on it, or at least getting to that point, it's really kind of not useful in a lot of the game modes these days.
Yeah, I mean, it does take a lot of resources for some of these characters to really get them to a point where they're useful. I mean, Count Dooku, I found really changed when you hit gear 12 because you can put one of the pieces on that gives him health steal because he's got no health steal up to that point, and it completely flips the character, just that one piece of gear, giving him like 5% or whatever he's got.
I know I don't like seeing him in 3v3, which I haven't come across him a lot, even though there's been this big push over the past 6 months or so. People were going Separatist instead of Phoenix route for farming. So I have seen more of them, but not completely geared out ones. I think people are
mostly Geos though, wasn't it?
Teams. What's that?
It was mostly Geos that people were doing rather than just.
That's regulars. What I recommend, but like Arnold, the big dude, he's been doing like the Newt Count Dooku droid mix kind of thing was what he was. He was pushing, which I think I've seen a lot of those. Like I had a separate account at one point and just kind of got tired of trying to do a completely free-to-play account and then play my main account at the same time. It was too time-consuming, and then make YouTube videos as well. It's just kind of too much time. But
definitely.
At one point when I was doing that leveling, I was going all Separatist and was working on Geos, and it was amazing how many people had gone after the Count Dooku lead route with a bunch of droids and stuff.
Well, I mean, I'm doing the droids at the moment. They're gear levels are dire. It's absolutely horrible. Sure. I don't know how somebody would join this game and choose to do those characters. They're just horrible.
Speaking of droids, like another one that's really good in 3v3, Droideka. Like if you get behind that immunity thing, and like I want to get to the GG team the other day, which for some reason he put Droideka with Newt instead of GG. But if you throw GG with Droideka and then maybe B1 or something like that in 3v3 is pretty sick, because if he puts Mark on Droideka and you can't damage him, then you're just kind of hosed there for a while.
Oh no, I didn't think of that, because I've currently got my I've got most of my Separatists. Well, I've got like a 50-50 really. I've got like Grievous with currently I've got Magna Guard and B2, and then I've got Poggle, Soldier, and Droideka. Maybe I should swap round the B2 and the Droideka.
I know I did that one time. I had a guy have Droideka in there, and it messed me up because I took Padme in, and I had already used JKR against something else, and not being able to target who I wanted to target, and like I got stuck behind that Droideka thing, and I couldn't.
No Ahsoka then.
No, I didn't have Ahsoka. It was 3v3, so I had Padme, Anakin, and GK.
Yeah, see, that is a massive trap. So many people say you should use that team, and it's like you can't dispel anything unless Anakin uses
Ahsoka
AoE.
I find to be quite better. The reason I don't have Ahsoka in that team right now currently is I put her with Rex and 5s for defense to kind of be a little sneaky, because she can heal and My Rex and 5 both are at year 12, and she's at relic 5. So she's hard to get through. And then if you go straight after 5s, you're going to supercharge Rex, and by that time Rex is going to get you with a Rex late. So it's going to be pretty rough little defense to get through.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've not really done my clones because I mean I'm working towards gas at the moment, but there's so many like Zetas and all the stun guns. The droids want like 4 each. They're just horrific.
I'm in stun gun hell all the time, man. I mean, just all the time. Every time I turn, like, I just got Darth Revan unlocked, but he's only at gear 8 because I got to get a stun gun, and then he's got a bunch of Carbantes. What is it? Is it not Carbantes? Crap.
Is it the stun cuffs or something?
The stun prods and all that stuff. The ones that you get from like the daily.
Oh, Kyrotex.
Kyrotex, yeah, he's got like a ton of Kyrotex you got to get along with all those stun guns, man. It's going to take me forever to get them to gear 12. But like the sad thing is, it takes me longer to get characters to gear 12 or get to gear 11 to where I can put the gear 12 pieces on there.
Yeah.
Gear 12 to get the gear 13 pieces on there. Than it does half the time to get the gear 13 stuff because I've already got it saved up from us, winning all of our TWs and stuff.
Oh yeah, our guild does really well on Territory War. I'm quite surprised because it feels like we have a lot of players that don't attack. There's quite a few guys that just sort of load up defense, and it's like that's fine, but you guys really need to find places to attack. But they don't. But we still do really well in it.
I'm surprised at how well we do too. Like, I like our mixed strategy better than a lot of other other guilds, like where they'll throw a whole wall of geos in or something like that. Like, I don't find that to be as effective. Like, I mean, at that point, I save my counters for geos anyway because I know that there's going to be geos on defense. So if there's a whole wall of them, I can take out at least 2 of them, and I know a lot of people do the same thing within our guild. So, when we see a wall of geos, it's not a scary thing.
We see them all the time now, though.
Yeah, it's like all the time. Like everybody's got counters for geos now. So I mean, like geos are perfect early game. Like it's one of the teams I recommend it highly because like if you're in Division whatever the last one, Division 6, 7 in GAC, and you've got geos, like good luck anybody ever beating those things because nobody's got a counter to it. But later on when you start hitting mid game, everybody's got one.
Yeah, definitely. Very strong early game, but I don't know. I kind of feel that like they're still a really good team. And I feel like they've got a reputation as being the team that you put on defense and your opponent can't beat it. And that's just not true. And I always use them as offense.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not in the situation. Like you get to that point in the game. Like there was a point where when I threw geos on defense, every time I knew that they were going to win in GAC, and then I started getting up. I think it was like Division maybe 6. When I hit 6, people started having counters for geos every time. So I started putting like my Padme on defense, which I knew that they didn't have a counter to, and then started using geos for offense, which was an automatic, usually 60 banner win because you could just kind of wait around and get all your health and protection back up.
Yeah, well, there's definitely a lot we can talk about in normal GAC stuff. So I'll definitely have to like just write that down, do GAC stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
when normal video on that, just like talking about like your different strategies and what works for you. Let's move on to the next bit anyway. So 3v3, the last point we came up with is like, how do you feel that it affects the game? Do you think it like changes the way that people farm certain characters? Do you think anybody actually builds specifically for it? Or do you think it's just one of those things where it's like you go, oh, well, you know what? It's 3v3. I've now got an extra spot so I can use a character like Clone Sergeant somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's more of an annoyance than anything. Like, I don't farm stuff specifically for 3v3. Like, no. I'm really competitive when it comes to GAC. I really like to win, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to farm stuff like an extra Night Sister or something like that to have 2 full Night Sister squads that are really good. Like, I'm not gonna go gear up another one of those specifically.
Actually, you just reminded me of something. I'm gonna pull this up. So one of the squads I run, rather than putting in the 6th Night Sister, you put Ventress Lead in one of your squads, and you put Jango Fett in there because he gets that whole like contract bonus under a Separatist leader.
Oh,
she's a Separatist leader.
That's a smart move right there. I like that.
Yeah, so I've got like I've just got Ventress, Talia, and Jango, and it's like Talia's not like super great or anything, but
Jango's good, and he starts off with 2 turns of immunity at that point because he starts with a Separatist leader.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. That's kind of like a interesting. Sometimes the AI goes, he's immune to damage, I'm going to punch him in the face, I'll prove that he's not. And it's like, no, you can't.
That is the things that I do like about 3v3, though, as I do like the theory crafting thing. And one of the things I forgot to mention when we were talking about teams earlier. So, like, my last GAC, I had the guy throw every relic character that he had down on defense. He had like 11 or 12 relic characters. So, to full clear, man, I really had to think through it, and I had to use some teams that I had to split up. So I had some like leftover Empire squads that I had Thrawn, and I had Grandma Tarkin, and then I had Shore Trooper. So I did that against 3 Gear 12 characters. They were against Vader with a Darth Maul lead, and then Savage Press. So it had that evasion kind of lead going on, and man, you talk about that Thrawn lead with that Shore Trooper. Like Shore Trooper was like gear 8, 6-star. And with the Thrawn lead, I was able to keep his turn meter going back around to where he was just constantly healing himself and taunting. And then Thrawn's
just
fracture
constantly.
Yeah, and Thrawn's fracture stayed on Vader the whole time until I killed him.
Thrawn has to be the best 3v3 character. He does everything.
Oh, he's so good in 3v3. Like, he's definitely by far one of the best ones.
Yeah, I do really like him. Okay, let's leave 3v3 there. We've probably been going about 20 minutes.
Yeah. More than we want to on 3v3.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're talking about regular Grand Arena stuff. So anyway, the next thing we wanted to talk about was the new game mode that got announced a couple of weeks ago.
The Galactic Challenges. So
yeah, I mean,
I've read over this a little bit more than what you have.
Yeah.
On there. So just to kind of go over it so people know what we're talking about with the Galactic Challenges. So this is the new game event that is coming, that they've been talking about for the last 6 months or so, kind of teasing back and forth. And it's supposed to be something that challenges our entire roster. So we have these characters that are sitting on the bench that we never get to play with. Supposedly we're supposed to be able to bring them out for this, and then it's going to have different themes. It's going to have what they call combat puzzles. They've been really vague around this too. So they've got different puzzles with, they're saying different modifiers that change in the form of the environment, the enemy type, and then also like buffs and debuffs to players according on what characters you bring into the battle as well. So I'm looking forward to it because I don't know, man, I get bored sometimes with not having anything to do in this game. Like, it's sad when you unlock a new character and you've already just spent all your energy getting the gear to unlock or to upgrade that character or whatever to make them useful, and then you're sitting around it's like, well, dang, I don't even have anything I can play right now to even test this character out. So that's kind of my takeaway on it, in a sense that I'm happy that we're supposed to have something that's consistent for us to play over and over again, so we can go in and test out characters and try out different lineups and teams. But they've just been really vague on, one, when it's arriving, and then two, what the rewards are, how often it's going to be, and all that kind of stuff. So what are your thoughts? I know you said you weren't expecting this, or you're wanting something different. Like, what are your thoughts on this game mode, and what would you have liked instead?
My thoughts on this game mode is that it feels like a wolf in sheep's clothing, I think is probably the best way I can say about it. It's like they're dangling this thing in front of us and going, hey, look guys, you'll be able to play, you'll be able to do these missions over and over again. And the wolf bit is me going, well, is that because they're like these new assault battles where they're like just like so mega hard you can't do them?
Yeah.
Or is it like you're saying, oh, you know what, this one we're going to say you have to use Imperial Troopers, and it's like, right, so now I've got to go do Imperial Troopers to play it. So I still can't play it.
I think that they did say, one of the devs did a video with, I'm in a shard chat thing that's for this GA Center thing, like where it's a bunch of content creators who are doing, they're doing essentially like an ESPN Sports Center on content creators kind of deal.
All right.
So I'm in this Discord chat that has a bunch of different content creators. And one of them, who's affiliated with that, did an interview with one of the devs shortly after they announced this. And they were saying that in that video, at least the dev said, that you're not required to take a specific team in. Now, there may be some like bonuses, I think, for taking Imperial Troopers in or something like that. that kind of affect the gameplay that maybe will make it easier.
Okay, let me just interrupt you with that.
What's that?
It's a minute. I'm just going to interrupt you there because that just raises such a point for me. Is that like if you're not required to take a specific team in, why would you not just go, oh, there's Darth Revan every time?
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. And like I said, it's so vague. We don't know. Maybe it's one of those things where you can use this team to a certain point, and then I don't know. Have you played the new Disney game that's kind of like the Sorcerer's Arena yet?
I had a quick go at it because like some of our guild guys were sort of like I don't know, they were going a bit crazy for it, saying, "Hey, look how cool this thing is! It's basically like Galaxy of Heroes, but with these things on it that we wish we had."
Yeah, I played it a little bit, and it had some stuff that I did like that I wish that they would add into Galaxy of Heroes. But one of the things was like this tower challenge mode, which is one thing that I'm thinking that this Galactic Challenges may be similar to, where you kind of climbed up this tower doing different battles, and the higher that you got up, the more difficult it was, and then you would lose the characters if they died off. You would have to change out teams to go higher and all that stuff. So I'm wondering if it's kind of like that, where it gets increasingly harder and you lose the characters, and then maybe you can just reset it and play through it again.
Yeah, but that just sounds like Galactic War.
Yeah. So yeah, like Galactic War, but except for I guess more challenging. Like Galactic War is kind of a joke these days. Like I'll play it just to have something to do, but the teams there have zero synergy, zero thought out. Where like the tower thing, it does have like synergy within the teams that you faced there as far as that challenge thing in the but they don't have like the different modifiers that they're talking about here with like puzzles and all that stuff. So like I said, it's so vague that like who knows what it's going to be. I'm just excited that they're adding a game mode in, I guess, in a sense. But like one, like I hope it's fun, but then two, like one of the reasons that I play this game is I'm very, very much an addict when it comes to like leveling stuff up. So
I know that.
Like I want to be able to actually get good rewards from doing something, investing that time. So they haven't even kind of addressed that either. So that's kind of vague. So I'm kind of like, I'm 50-50. I will say that to give them credit where credit's due, like over the past couple of months, it went from like probably being a 0 on their job or what I thought of the job they were doing because they weren't communicating at all. I thought Galactic Legends were just terrible. I mean, it's something that the average player is not going to get to hit at all anytime recently. But over the last month, the things that they've been doing, which we're going to talk about in their next video, the 40th anniversary stuff, I think that they've been doing a lot better. So I have a lot more hope that this game mode is going to be better, especially with them adding the new tools and stuff in. That they're talking about to make the creation side easier for them.
I'm definitely not going to complain that if they add more stuff for me to do. You know, it's like I turn the game on and I'm like, cool, I want to like play battles, but you can't because every battle requires some expenditure.
Cool.
Okay, we're back. Headphone issue has been resolved. We were currently talking about the new game mode and basically, what I was saying that it feels like if we've got more stuff to play, then that's brilliant. But I kind of want in this game, I just want a game mode which doesn't require me energy to play, and I can just play.
No, I agree, and I do think that was something. If I remember correctly, don't quote me on this. I did listen to a little bit of that developer interview. I don't think I listened to all of it. I was listening to it while I was at work, but it seems like it's supposed to be play all you want to and play with all the characters that you want to. I think that the rewards are going to diminish or whatever. I'm not sure exactly how the reward system works. They haven't really announced that, but it's supposed to be replayable all you want to that day. So I'm cool with that. I like just being able to test my characters when I get new teams put together or upgrade a character or something like that. So as long as I'm able to do that, I think I'm going to be pretty happy with this game mode. But you also want it to be challenging in a sense. Like if you get a new character, then you want to be able to test it out on a difficulty level that you're wanting to actually face that in GAC or in your arena shard. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. There's no point just like, I don't know, you unlock like one of these powerful characters. So like you got Darth Revan just the other day. I got him a couple of weeks ago, and it's like, well, he's quite a solid character. He does a lot of damage. You don't want to just put him into I don't know, like the Galactic War doesn't really challenge that character.
Yeah, not at all. I've been going through there. Actually, I mean, because of Darth Revan gets the bonuses from having a full Sith Empire team, which I don't have because I don't have Malik. I don't have Empire Trooper. But in our case with 3v3, it will be helpful because I've got Basilisk Fallen and HK, and I've just been going through Galactic War 3-man in it with that lineup, which just annihilates.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He's quite a beast, really. He's definitely one of the more fun characters that I think I've played with.
Yeah, he's definitely fun. Like I've got him going right now until I get Malik and Sith Empire Trooper unlocked. I'm going to throw him with my Empire team with EP, Vader, and Thrawn to throw that team together. I think it'd be a pretty good one. Him with Basilisk Fallen and Darth Revan.
Yeah. Do you think with like these new challenges then that like what I said, where is it just going to be, you know, you throw in Darth Revan and you're done? Or do you think they're actually going to do something to stop that?
I don't know. It seems like, I mean, you know, they've talked about these different environment features and the things that affect the player as well based off of what you bring in there. So they may have some stuff that's kind of discourages certain teams to get far in it kind of thing. So like maybe they have some stuff that, you know, will hamper Sith Empire squads if you're just wanting to go like full relic Sith Empire to kind of knock through stuff, or JKR or something like that, where it may be better to take a rebel squadron in there because they get a buff to go through there. So you know, they're talking about this different puzzle stuff, which I mean, when they say puzzles, like what does that mean? Like we've never had puzzles in this game at all before. So I mean, what do they mean by that? They've been so vague with the information on this. Like I said, I'm happy that we've got, you know, a new game mode, but I really don't know a lot about it from this post other than, you know, it's got these 3 different modifiers that they're going to be adding in, you know, to the battles that affect the, you know, your process through there.
Yeah. Did you, because obviously you've only been playing for like 9 months. Did you ever play the territory battles? Not territory battles, the territory wars where they put in like the weird modifiers to the different characters?
No, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, they used to do this weird thing where, like, so I'm sure one territory where it was like all Han Solos had some kind of bonus, and they did these kind of like cool, wacky things with it, and it was really weird though because you had like guilds all of a sudden go, oh no, actually we're just going to fill squads of Han Solo.
Mm-hmm. And see, that's my only complaint about some of the stuff they do in this game, and I mean, it's kind of understandable, but you know, for players who are newer, you know, like a lot of people don't have these characters unlocked or have the ability to play with these characters until way down the line. So when you do all these buffs, yeah, it helps veteran players and people who've been around for a long time. But like, I know one of my biggest frustrations just as an early game player was, you know, getting through a lot of the events because I don't have the characters to get through, you know, especially these challenge tier events since they added in the new challenges. Like, you know, some of them I'm not getting the gear and stuff off of just because, I mean, when do I have time with all the stuff that I'm farming right now to go after solid bounty hunters? Like they're not even on my farm list right now, even though I wish that they were, you know?
Yeah.
So I hope they don't go down that rabbit hole of requiring a bunch of characters that people don't have, and it's not fun for newer players. Like I think that that's something that CG sometimes doesn't do very well. Like here recently, like with the Vader rework, I thought that was very good for new players. You know, kind of just a bone to all free to play, especially even newer players and all that kind of stuff. But you look at the Luke event, that was a bone for veteran players. Like, I mean, I'm not going to have Hoda or Wampa anytime soon. Like, you know, Gas and Malik are probably going to use that get currency before I even think about going after Hoda and Wampa to go after, you know, Jedi Knight Luke.
Yeah, well, you need them like quite high relic as well, and it's not just them though, but it's like you need Rolo, and that character. I mean, I've built our guild up so that we get quite a lot of shards now. I think we got 30 last time, something like that. And
yeah, I'm glad that you've been pushing people to go after stuff that's helpful for the guild. Like one of the reasons that I went Geos was because I knew it was going to be such a big, you know, plus for our guild to get another Watt shard. You know, like I don't think it as a guild leader, like, you know, from me, you have my full support in saying, hey, these are the teams that to be in this guild you need to be farming to go after to help the guild as a whole. Maybe not like like the Hoth battle stuff. Like there's not like one character you need to 5-star to be able to go after Rolo shards and stuff like that. So it's not too much to ask.
It's a no-brainer. That is, you get so much out of it. There's like, you get the Rolo shards, but then you get like there's 2 special missions afterwards that use Rolo, and it's like 50 get combined or something. It's massive. You're just getting a 5-star hot soldier. You don't even have to gear him. That mission's a joke.
Just have him, throw him in there. Like mine I got with the hyperdrive bundle. I don't even know if I've got mods on the dude. You know what I mean? I just have it to go into the event.
Oh no, definitely. I've always just chucked him in with like anybody really. Just made sure I beat the mission. Yeah,
and the missions are pretty easy too. Like, I mean, my Rolo, I don't even think has any gear on her either. I just have her thrown in there for to get the mission done and go from there. Get one for everybody.
Yeah, but like that character takes a long time to get because there's so many players that just go, well, I'm not going to get 5-star hot soldier. I don't want to waste my time on that character. And it's like you don't realize how much of a benefit that character is when you sort of go, well, you've got 50 players.
Yeah, and I know this is probably like off subject a little bit, but I'm a big fan of just doing stuff that's going to help the guild as a whole. Like as far as like players in the game, like when you're making out your farming list, and I'm a farming list kind of guy as far as like figuring out what I'm going to farm, but I also want to make sure that I'm going after stuff that is helpful for the guild, like in TBs and TWs for sure. I like to be able to contribute, and like you said, like asking people to go after these certain characters and teams. Like, for us, I think, at this point with us doing our dark side geos every time, like, everybody needs to get their geos up to gear 12. It's not very hard. It's a good team for one thing. And then you're getting charged for which is an amazing character when we start getting him.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really looking forward to us unlocking what. I don't know how many battles it's going to take. Actually, I can have a quick look and see what I'm on.
Yeah, you're probably a little bit ahead of me. I don't know how long I've been in the guild since we started doing it.
Yeah, because you joined our guild this year, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think where he'll be. With what?
Yeah, I have one of my buddies from Garius from my fleet shard.
I'm on 30. What?
I think I'm around that as well. Maybe high 20s or something like that. Yeah. Maybe I missed one go around.
We're getting that. I mean, I think we got like 14 or something last time. We got quite a few.
So, but that's not one of those characters that's so plug and play useful as well. Like you think of like characters like that, maybe will go well with this Galactic Challenge deal. Characters that are plug and play. I'm just interested. I'm ready for something new in the game anyway.
Game mode wise, this game really does need that because it's so easy for them to just push characters out.
Yeah, and I think that's all that we've really gotten here recently. Has been new ships and new characters for the most part. I don't think since I've been playing they've put any type of new game mode in other than if you want to call Galactic Legends that stupid rock paper scissors thing that they did. That's not a game mode. Yeah, that was terrible.
If new challenges with that, man, so many people would quit this game.
Man, I remember, like, I don't know if you watched any of the YouTube stuff on that when it first came out, but I was watching Arnold stream, and he had all these like thousands of people watching this stream, and that event just fell so flat. You know what I mean? It was just like CG, you killed yourself, right? You had all this free advertisement, and that event was so bad. So, but the sad thing is like at some point soon, I've got to start farming for Kylo, and probably will be what I do after Malik. And
I know what you mean.
Go through that ticket system and everything.
At the same time, I don't think you need to have the Galactic Legend characters because I don't really feel that they've had the same level of impact on this game as when Revan and Darth Revan came out. When those characters came out, it was like, that's it. This is it. This is all there is on Arena. Darth Revan countered Lightside Revan, and there was like, I think it was, I can't remember what it was, but there was another team at the time that beat Darth Revan, but it couldn't sit on the top easily enough to do it. So it just changed. But now like people are like, hey, I've got my Kylo, but then there's all these wacky teams that are coming out that just beat it. And it's like,
yeah. So and they threw the Vader out there that just really kind of took the, Rey down. She was the evil defense that people were throwing on GAC, which I'm glad I'm in a lower GAC level. I don't want to go against these teams anytime soon. But the reason that I think I want Kylo is just because of how well he does in like the TB game modes, and then raids as well, which I know that like we've got a few in our guild now, which you've limited to like the phase 4, just because they can wipe out the whole raid. But one of the things that for me to stay competitive, I like to be able, especially Sith raid, to stay top 10. Because you get so much better rewards within the top 10 in that raid. So I try to look at stuff that I can use in different game modes.
The raids are awful, really. The way that they force your guild to be competitive against each other.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. I wish that they would come up with a different way to do that. Like, I'm not a big fan of trying to beat everybody in my guild every time to get good rewards. Like, I don't know. I almost like the sim rewards better in a sense. Like, I wish it was like, hey, everybody do as good as you can, and the higher score that you get, the better rewards that everybody gets. Yeah, you know what I mean? I wish that they did that route instead of saying, hey, I've got to sit for this. I've got this team for this certain point of the raid that I've got to make sure that I use here so I can get the most amount of points that I can to make sure I get in the top 10 so I can get the rewards that I need. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather it be a come together thing than a let's see how fast I can get into this certain pot and get it done and maybe get another team in kind of deal.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the best sort of way that I thought that would work would be that if each player had an individual like raid, and then if he beats it, he adds one completion to the guild, and then your reward for everybody is based on total completions.
Yeah, see, that would be cool. And I just like the bonus thing. Like if you're, the higher that you do, almost like a TB kind of thing, where the higher stars you get, the better reward you get, but everybody gets the same reward kind of deal. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like an outdated concept, really, for this game. I mean, even just like...
And it is. It seems like that they don't even want to make any new ones. Like, it's been so long since they've put one out, and then they've made these Galactic Legends like Kylo,
Yeah.
If you throw out a new raid, are you going to make him exempt from doing the raids?
You can't.
Or are you...
You can't. People pay money to use these characters. You can't not let them use them.
Yeah, so I think that they hurt themselves with that game mode just by the power creep in the game that they've made. Where
definitely,
characters keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. It's just what Kylo can do in raids right now is just insane. Like, to solo the Sith raid, like I don't
know if you can solo it. I think you need to have at least one other character with him.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, well I meant like his team solo it kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but I mean that's just craziness to be able to do that. But even if it's just one character with his this kind of thing, it's nuts.
Yeah. No, it ruins it for everybody else, really. But also it kind of trivializes that content.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, raids to me is just gear at this point, kind of thing. Yeah. Like, it's just.
I mean, even if they weren't going to change the raids and they were going to leave them as they are, eventually they will get to a point where they just become like this pointless thing, and you have to put sim on all of them. But then on top of that, it makes this problem where you've got these 3 events and you're having to sim them because there's no point playing them because it's just like your characters are so dominating. And then you go, well, that's 3 events that no one plays.
Yeah. I'm wondering about like these new game modes that they're adding in. Are Galactic Legends going to be like one of those things that you really have to do well in there to get the best rewards? Like, they said they haven't given us any information on what you need for these things. So I said I hope it's good, but we'll see. What are you thinking time wise? Do you think that they'll have that out this year, or is it going to be a next year thing?
From all the things CG as a company is quite bad with communication. I think everyone can really agree to that.
Yeah, I think it's the worst.
It also feels
thing
like
that they do.
Yeah, it feels like, I mean, you've had this in other like video game companies where you have some developer or executive and he says, hey, we're going to do this thing, or I'm really excited about this thing, and what he's really talking about is something that's just a concept, or he uses a term for that they've just banged around the office, and it's not even actually completely representative of what the actual thing is. And then when it actually comes to having to push that out, it's like, well, we haven't done that yet. So actually, even though we've said we've been talking about this for 3 or 4 months, we've not actually done anything. It's just, over coffee, Jeff said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did this?
Well, it's like, I'm pretty sure in some of these road aheads and stuff before, haven't they talked about the Death Star raid? Like in an actual post?
I mean, I don't know why there was a Death Star raid, but then as we've just said, the whole kind of raid format as it is in the game it needs to change. It just doesn't work. It's either that event's going to be so ridiculously hard that you can't beat it, and then half your guild can't even play it because it's a raid and you need everybody to beat them, or it's going to be so easy.
The problem with light side geos right now is like, it's no fun because it's so difficult. You know what I mean? That's why people don't do it. Like where that's, clearly good rewards come from it, but it's so difficult it's not fun.
But it's other stuff as well. Like you can't be bothered to remod all your characters to do an event that's really, really difficult, and you could just
which is insane. Yeah, and I've seen people do videos on remodding their entire teams, which if you think modding them between GAC, arena climbs, territory battles, like that's kind of ridiculous to keep up with that amount of mods and lineups and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they do these daily challenge things or whatever they're calling them, and I have to remod all my characters. I'm not going to do them. I can't be bothered.
Yeah, I'm not doing that either. Like, I just don't have the time. You know what I mean? Or the want to when it comes to that. Like, my goal on modding right now really is to, like, I don't even like moving mods around between certain characters. Like, my JKR has like my best speed mods, which would probably be really great when I get my Darth Revan team done. But my goal is to get a set that's just as good as that on my Darth Revan, so I don't have to change stuff around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean there. I think what tends to happen with me is I never go back and steal mods. I just try and find new ones.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm the same boat. Like I can't stand, because like you take one off of one and then you've got to go back and replace that, and you might have to replace that from somebody else, and then that person needs a mod, and it's just
if you've got a wide roster like I've got, it's just a nightmare.
So, but I think we've covered our stuff for our very first video, man. I think it's a pretty good conversation. It's been fun.
Yeah, hopefully someone will listen to this and actually sit through it to the end, because I think we've been going about 40 minutes total, so it's quite long.
Absolutely. So this is just the raid section of this video. We haven't even covered my section yet, which we're going to cover a couple other topics. Yeah. So if you're enjoying the conversation,
if you guys
move on to my channel. And then definitely subscribe to Raid's channel as well if this is your first time on this one as well.
Yeah. So just like and subscribe, and any comments, if there's any content or anything we've discussed that you disagree with, or maybe you do agree with, please post it in the comments. We're always happy to get feedback. It just shows us that people actually pay attention to what we're doing. Hopefully you'll come back for the next one. So.
Absolutely. It's fun, man.
Okay. Cheers, guys. I'll see you later.